everybody, I'm back. As I said before in my last video, this video will be diving into fan kids. Now, if you don't know what a fan kid is, it's basically when you pair two characters together and they have a kid. It's exactly as it sounds. It's kind of like when Steven Universe had the whole fusion thing going on. Instead of doing fusions of two characters, you're making a separate individual similar to that in a way. It's very complicated, but also very simple. Funny enough, I have actually done a fan kid fusion of Alastor and Angeldust before, and let's just say I wasn't 100% happy with the design, and going back and looking at it, I realized I should have changed a few things before I officially sold it, but I'm going to redeem myself with this one, which surprisingly, this weirdly took the longest time to create. Like, normally I can come up with a design within a day or so, depending on how my day is going. But this weirdly took me 3 hours to come up with because I know in terms of color, Angeldust and Alastor are very similar with the yellow tones, the pink tones, and the red tones. But in my mind, I didn't want their kid to be too deer-like, and I didn't want their kid to be too spider-like. And then I didn't want their colors to mix or use one color that was too similar to one parent and not too similar to the other parent. I wanted it to be like a healthy mix of both of them because a lot of fan kids that I've seen that have Alastor as one of the main parents, I've kind of noticed that when people design the fan kids with him in mind as the parent, they kind of just make a carbon copy of Alastor. Like, there are so many Chalister kids that just look like Alastors. Like, they don't look any different. They don't really have any, any indication of the other parent, which always kind of bothers me because I'm like, normally when you have kids, yeah, one kid may look more like one parent, or you may have another kid that looks nothing like the parents. I mean, I'm a weird healthy mix of both my mom and my dad. Like, my face, like my eye shape and my forehead are exactly like my mom's, my nose and my chin are exactly like my dad's, so I have a healthy mix of both my parents, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people look like their parents, which is important. But for me, a fan kid should always incorporate both parents. You shouldn't have one kid look 100% like their own parent. Like, you don't want their kid to look like a little twin version of the parent, in my opinion. If that's your way of doing it, go for it. But for me personally, I like them to be a healthy mix. So that's why I was struggling with this so much, because Alastor has such iconic features that are somewhat similar to Angeldust's features. Like, they both have really sharp teeth, they both have very human-y eyes, because they both have pupils except for one eye, but they have a lot of similarities in terms of body type and stuff like that. So coming up with the kid was really hard because I couldn't think of what I wanted. I knew in the beginning I really wanted to do something gothic styled because I feel like their child would really rebel against both their parents. Seeing as how both of them are big time killers and one is kind of checked out and the other one is a little bit overbearing. So I figured their kid would be very goth and very quiet. The opposite of their parents, because they wouldn't, how some kids are, they want to be the opposite of their parents. So I wanted it to be like a shy, goth-styled child, but then I was like, you know what, no, this isn't working. The style of the outfit is too similar to Angel's taste, and she didn't have enough, she didn't have enough Alastor style in her as well. She was becoming too much of an Angeldust mini-me, so to speak, so I was like, no, I have to scrap that. And then I went on this tirade of, an axe murderer kind of thing. I was leaning more into Alastor's, murderous tendencies, but then I realized Angeldust isn't technically a serial killer, so I don't know how that would work, considering both parents would probably fight about how their kid is going to be raised. Is my kid going to be a serial killer? Is my kid going to be a killer for hire, so to speak? So I had to really focus on what I wanted to do for this, and it finally dawned on me when I was taking a walk with my roommate, which makes us sound super old, but we don't get out much, and I spend most of my days in my room, so as we were walking, we were discussing, because she helps me out. She bounces ideas off of me, which is really fun, and I appreciate that so much. She's asleep, but she'll see the video later. But we were bouncing off ideas, and she goes, how about mixing the spots and Alastor's red colors together? And I go, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And she goes, well, Angeldust has kind of like a freckle thing, and Alastor has like the whole blood color. So you could do like a blood splatter effect with the freckles. Like as soon as she said those words to me, everything just clicked into place. Oh, it's just... oh, it was magic. It was pure magic. My brain immediately went, oh wow, I have the idea. I'm ready. And I just ran with it. I dug up all my like old Halloween gore stuff, trying to find bits and pieces of stuff that I had made that I thought would be really cool to incorporate. By the time I started doing all the freckles and hair and like getting the blood splattered to look a certain way, and it finally dawned on me what kind of personality that their kid would have. So in mob movies, there's usually the corrupt doctor, and I figured this was the perfect mash of serial killer and mobster, which is the corrupt doctor that enjoys stitching up patients without anesthetic and, having no medical license whatsoever, but has the tools and the smarts to do it on their own. And it just... oh, the pieces falling into place is the best thing. You have no idea. Any of you who are artists, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it just went from there. I started with like this straight jacket effect on her, and then it turned into this like lab coat dress, Frankenstein kind of monster-esque outfit. I wanted to keep the stripes because both parents do incorporate stripes into their attire, so I wanted to keep the nod to that. So she has both pinstripes and horizontal stripes, whereas the belt buckles will be counted as stripes, giving the illusion of horizontal stripes. And then I gave her gloves, since both parents do wear gloves, but I made her fingerless and also gave her like... Angeldust has white fingernails, if anyone has ever noticed that, which I think is the most adorable thing. I gave her a different eye color compared to the parents because Angeldust has that one dark purple eye, and then Alastor has his dark red eyes. And when I started mixing the colors together, they were making this like really funky purple bluish color, and I kind of just darkened that down, and I started using that as like the third color because I figure some of the kids will incorporate their parents' colors into their clothes, but I feel like they would also pick their own signature color as well, just to stand out from their parent. I also gave her pinkish skin. I still wanted the effect that, yes, she is completely covered in fur, but also has the fur differentiations from body to actual hair color, And then the 4 legs were actually inspired by Molly, since she is the only spider that I've seen so far with 4 legs. And I figured since I made their child a female, it would be funny that only the female spiders would have 4 legs, but that's just an inside joke for me. But yeah, I honestly adore this whole design. Like, I'm just so happy that it finally came together because I was struggling so hard. I mean, like, in my mind, I know that she's going to be up for sale because I don't plan on keeping any of the fan kids. I don't really have the need for them. But yeah, this whole experience was fun, actually, because I've kind of been pushing back doing fan kids because the last time I did it, it went well, but I feel like I could have done more. So for this line of fan kids, I am going to be trying a little bit harder and incorporating a lot more design into them. So look forward to that. Because the next kid that we will be working on is Vox and Alastor, which is just a fun... oh, it's a fun mix. I can't wait to show you guys her. She looks amazing. You guys are going to love it. Trust me. Her vibe is very No Straight Roads, if you've ever played that game. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. Sorry it's kind of short. But remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!